Howdy everyone, and welcome back to the Luna Geeks Out channel. Today, we are checking out a track I've been waiting to get to for a long time, Reue by Leipa, or Leipa if you prefer the original name for the group. Actually might still be the name, and Leipa is just written that way because it's easier to do than tracking down the thorn, I believe the symbol is, but that's neither here nor there. This is, for those of y'all who don't know, another project by Noise of Kanonenfieber. I haven't heard all of their prior album, Sisyphus, yet, but I've really enjoyed what I've heard from that, and of course I absolutely love Kanonenfieber. So I have some very high expectations for this track. Without further ado, let's hop into it. Nice guitar start to this one. Good bass kicking in there. Shifting into a bit more of that sort of expected black metal kind of sound. The drums. I like how we've got that guitar that was at the beginning. Still continuing on, just a little subtle now. Oh! I thought we were about to crash down, but no, quiet section. It's actually really nice right there. Get that volume up a little. That's really nice right there. Oh, this is absolutely beautiful right here. A weird section here, but I think depending on how we transition out of this, it's gonna really work. I think if that sort of beat down with harsh vocals, that had transitioned into like guitar continuing to go then into this, that would have been a lot better. As it was alright. It worked. that was an incredible scream right there. I think we'd had one more note right at the end to have a slightly stronger resolution there. That would have been perfect. But as it was, yeah, that was a pretty good. Oh, come on. A pretty good track right there. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that was really nice. But I, of course, expected it to be good. But I think notable step up from what I saw with the previous album, Sisyphus. Of course, I haven't heard the entire thing yet. Same, I haven't heard the entire the entirety of this album yet. But this was certainly, I think this hit a little harder than what we got off of that album, at least the stuff I heard off of it. Yeah, normally I would hop into lyrical analysis. I really wish I could do that today because of knowing the central theming and reading the sort of write-ups they had on the Noisebringer Records site. I'm sure it's some fantastic lyrics, but there is not an English translation out there that I was able to find. And while I am learning German, I am certainly not particularly good with it yet, so I cannot provide my own translation here. So no lyrical analysis today, so we're just gonna hop straight into the review portion, which I can certainly go on a good tangent about all of that. Starting off with the vocals, those were phenomenal. We had, I think even from what I heard from the last album, there was this jump up in sort of harshness and a little bit more rawness that I think really carried across the emotional intensity that was needed here. I mentioned that final scream, the way that stretched out and carried on was, I think, probably the best example of that. That really sort of got in, like, almost got under my skin, you know. But I think throughout, there was this, I don't know what the proper word would be. There's like this underlaying element within the vocals that I really liked, and I think really fit both just the general music and just it's sort of the black metal style we have here, but also the emotional representation we're seeing here. I think it fit perfectly. The title translates to regret. That's the central theme of this track. And I think that idea was definitely carried across throughout those vocals. And in general, just a couple other things. There were a couple lines that just, the way they were, the way stuff was enunciated and emphasized and stuff, I thought was really cool. And in general, it was very easy to understand the vocals, which can be very rare to find in some black metal, which I'm not necessarily dislike. That's just part of the style, right? And when done well, I actually enjoy the fact that the vocals kind of just blend together into just this almost wall of sound. But here, things were very clear, and while I didn't understand every word, right, like, I could make out what was being said, which I think was really good. I always like to hear that. So, yeah, vocals in this were fantastic. The guitar, we had that sort of chiller guitar that we had in the quieter sections. I really liked that. That was, like I said, that was beautiful. We had just the general riffing and the heavier guitar and everything. I thought all of that was really good. There was a more almost melodic nature to it that I really, really liked. And I think that actually fit the emotional stuff here as well, where I think it was just all this really harsh, angry sound that would have lost out on a bit, because, like, what we're seeing here, well, I wasn't picking up on necessarily anger throughout this, or throughout, reading the write-up, or taking a look at the lyrics of what little bit of German I do know. I wasn't picking up on anger per se. It was just more pain and sorrow. And so I think that more melodic nature within the music, especially with the guitar, really, really benefited that. The bass, really good. Good tone to it. Not the most apparent in this track. I'm sure I listen again and keep an eye out for, or an ear out rather. I'll pick up on it more. But what we did here was really good. I mean, there was that bit at the beginning where it kicked in. I really enjoyed that. But throughout, it was like, yeah, just some solid bass in this track. Provided a good backing to it. Not too much more to say on it, however. Finally, the drums were phenomenal. We had some great blast beats in here, some great force behind them, great energy. I mean, those are, you could headbang along to those drums and have a good time. I don't have a lot to say on the drums per se, but in this track, I really, really enjoyed them. Yes, yeah, the drums were great here. Overall, this was a track that I think there are a few moments that I think could have been improved slightly. I mentioned in that quieter section where we did have, the guitar would come crashing for a second and the vocals would kick in for a second. I think if we'd had that thing happen and then that transitioned into a bit more, it was like, oh, that sort of beat down to the guitar kept going and it transitioned into some new riff or something, I think that would have been a really good transition out of that. As it was like, oh, there's a scream, and then it just kind of shifts into other stuff. It worked, but I think that could have been a lot better. And I think at the very end of the song, if it had been like one more note to really resolve the music, it would have been perfection. As it was, the end felt just unresolved, I think is really the best word to use here. Those are my two big flaws with this song, and those are more nitpicks than anything else. As it was, I wasn't coming into this expecting something that would, blow my mind or anything like that. I expected some really high quality black metal, and my expectations were certainly exceeded. This was some really high quality black metal, but the emotional intensity we got here was more than I was expecting. The riffs and the drums and all that were really good. I mean, as expected. The way everything came together, though, I think this is a great example of, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts, where you have all these solid individual elements, but they really created something really powerful, when coming together. So, yeah, really, really good, track here. Cannot wait to check out the other single off of this album that we'll be checking out, and the album itself eventually, and then I'll definitely have to, next time I'm ordering something from the Norsbringer Records shop, I'll have to pick up a copy of this album if there's still any available. Just off of this one track, I can go ahead and say that, yeah, no, I'm gonna have to get a copy of this, I'm gonna like it. So, yeah, no, really, really good stuff here. God, the emotions within this were definitely the best part for me. I think the way those are carried across really elevated this, really elevated this higher. But just in general, some good black metal, which it's a genre that doesn't always do it for me. So it's always good to discover some good black metal. So I'm very, very happy about that. But yeah, I am out of things to say on the track, so we all know the drill. It is time to discuss what we will be checking out next time, and we have reached the end of our journey through Sleep Token's new album, Take Me Back to Eden, and we'll be checking out the track Euclid, which I'm not ready for. It's an ending to things, and I'm not ready to be done with this album. It's been so great, and I wish there was so much more of it, and what I've seen of Euclid, I'm not emotionally ready. I will put it that way. It's gonna be a powerful track, I'm sure, but I'm not ready. We'll get to it sometime within the next few days. The schedule's weird, so I'm not sure exactly what's gonna happen. I'll try to get it filmed tomorrow, and we'll see how things go with having stuff go live and everything. I'll probably end up. I'm a couple days off with scheduling. So this will. I don't know when I'll get to it, but it will happen, and I'm excited to check it out. But I am out of things to say, so that is going to do it for the video. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like if you liked, subscribe if you want to see more, and comment down below with your own thoughts on the track, any feedback or criticism, or anything you want me to react to. In the description, link to the tracks, you can check it out, support the artist, link to my... it probably doesn't need to go into the Known Fever reactions playlist, since that's technically a different band, but I'll make a Leipa reactions playlist whenever I get the other thing out, but there will be a link down there to my rock and metal reactions playlist, so you can check out some similar content from me. And then links to my Discord server, Instagram, Twitter, Spotify playlist of all the songs I've reacted to, at least the ones up on Spotify, and my link tree, which has my other stuff in it in case any of that interests y'all. Anyways, like I said, that's going to do it. So once again, thank you all for watching, and until next time, I'll be seeing ya.